Hello, everyone. You're 62, sipping tea in your quiet Vermont home, when a sudden, crushing chest pain steals your breath. That's how my world unraveled. Rushed to the hospital. I, Sophia Walker, learned my artery was blocked, and I needed a stent to survive. But with an $18,000 bill looming and fear gripping my heart, a shocking phone call from a stranger claiming to be my sister changed everything. This is a story of survival, family secrets, and miracles I never saw coming. So grab a cozy drink, settle in, and join me on this unforgettable journey. When you're done, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you faced a moment that turned your life upside down? Like, subscribe and hit the bell for more stories like this. Let's dive in. I'm Sophia Walker, 62, living in a quiet Vermont town where the air smells of pine and the stars feel close enough to touch. My life revolves around my golden retriever, Maggie, and my lavender garden, which I tend like it's my own child. It was a perfect June afternoon, sunlight streaming through my kitchen window as I poured chamomile tea into my favorite blue mug. Then, out of nowhere, a sharp, crushing pain gripped my chest, like a fist squeezing my heart. I stumbled to my armchair, gasping, my hands shaking as I pressed them to my chest. "Oh, God," I whispered. "Not now." Maggie trotted over, her brown eyes wide, nudging my arm with her wet nose. "I'm fine, girl," I said, but my voice cracked. I tried to convince myself it was indigestion, too much lasagna last night, or maybe stress from arguing with my daughter Emily about her busy life in Seattle. But the pain didn't ease. It grew, radiating down my arm. I sat there, debating whether to call 911. "What if it's nothing?" I muttered to Maggie. "I'll look like a fool." I'd always been the strong one, the widow who kept the house running after Tom died, who never asked for help. But fear won out. I dialed my neighbor, Linda, my confidant since Tom's passing 5 years ago. "Sophia, what's wrong?" Linda's voice was sharp with worry. I I don't know," I said, my breath shallow. "My chest. It hurts. Bad. I'm there in 5 minutes," she said. "Don't move." Linda burst through my door, her silver hair in a messy bun, her face all business. "You're going to the hospital, and I'm driving," she said, grabbing my purse. In the car, I stared at the green hills rolling by, my mind racing. "Linda," I said quietly, "I'm not ready to go. There's so much I haven't fixed. With Emily, with Jack." She glanced at me, her eyes soft but firm. "You're not going anywhere, Sophia. You're tougher than this." I wanted to believe her, but the pain in my chest said otherwise. The hospital was a blur of antiseptic smells and hurried footsteps. After an EKG, blood tests, and a coronary angiogram, I sat in a sterile room, my hands twisting the hem of my sweater. Dr. Patel, a cardiologist with kind eyes and a serious demeanor, walked in, his clipboard heavy with answers I wasn't ready for. "Mrs. Walker," he said, "you have a severe blockage in your left coronary artery. We need to perform an angioplasty and place a stent to restore blood flow. Ideally, tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" I echoed, my voice barely audible. The heart monitor's beeps filled the silence, each one a reminder of how fragile I'd become. "What happens if I don't do it?" Dr. Patel's face softened, but his words were blunt. "Without intervention, you're at high risk for a heart attack. It could be fatal." I nodded, my throat tight. Death didn't scare me as much as it used to. Not since Tom's cancer took him. I believed I'd see him again. What terrified me was the unfinished business. The rift with Emily, who felt more like a stranger than a daughter these days. The distance with my brother, Jack, who drifted away after our parents died. I hadn't lived fully, hadn't said the things that mattered. That night, alone in my hospital bed, I called Emily. She picked up on the third ring, her voice tired. "Mom, it's late. Everything okay?" "No," I said, my voice breaking. "I'm in the hospital, Em. It's my heart." "What?" Her tone sharpened. "Why didn't you tell me you were feeling bad? I would have flown out." "I didn't want to worry you," I said. "You've got the kids, your job." "That's not an excuse, Mom," she snapped, her voice thick with tears. "You always do this. Act like you're fine when you're not. Do you know how that makes me feel? Like I don't matter enough for you to lean on me." Her words stung, but they were true. "I'm sorry," I whispered. I thought I could handle it." She sighed. "I'm booking a flight. I'll be there in a couple days." "Emily, you don't have to." "I'm coming, Mom," she said, and hung up. I stared at the phone, guilt and relief warring inside me. I'd pushed her away, thinking I was protecting her, but I'd only widened the gap between us. I closed my eyes and prayed, "Please, give me time to make this right." The next morning, a social worker named Rachel, barely 30 with a gentle smile, sat down to discuss costs. "With your Medicare plan," she said, "the procedure is partially covered, but your out-of-pocket costs will be around $18,000, including deductibles and hospital fees." I felt like I'd been punched. $18,000? I said, my voice shaking. "I don't have that. My savings, it's enough for bills, maybe a new roof, but not this." Rachel nodded sympathetically. "We can explore payment plans or financial assistance programs, but I won't lie, it's a significant burden." After she left, I called my bank, my hands trembling as I punched in the numbers. My savings account held $6,000, years of pinching pennies, skipping vacations, buying secondhand. It wasn't enough. Swallowing my pride, I called Emily again. "Honey," I said, "the hospital bill, it's $18,000. I hate asking, but—" "Mom, stop," she said, her voice softer now. "Mark and I will help. We can dip into our savings or take out a loan." "No," I said, my voice firm. "I won't let you go into debt for me. I'll figure it out." "Figure it out," she said, her tone rising. "You're in the hospital, Mom. You can't keep pretending you're Superwoman. Why is it so hard for you to let us help?" "Because I'm your mother," I snapped, tears burning my eyes. "I'm supposed to take care of you, not the other way around." There was a long pause. "You don't get it," she said quietly. "Taking care of you is how I show I love you." I hung up, my heart heavy. I called Jack next, hoping for advice, but he was distracted, as usual. "Soph, I'm in the middle of a golf game," he said, his voice breezy. "Can we talk later? Send me the details, I'll see what I can do." "Sure," I said, but I knew later meant never. Jack had always been the charming, carefree one, leaving me to handle the hard stuff, Mom's funeral, Dad's estate, now this. Linda visited that afternoon, bringing her famous chicken soup. "You look like you're carrying the world," she said, pouring me a cup. "It's the bill," I admitted. "And Emily, she's mad I didn't tell her sooner. Jack's too busy golfing to care. I've never felt so stuck." Linda sat beside me, her face fierce. "You're not stuck, Sophia. You're fighting. And you're not alone, even if it feels like it. We'll sell my old Mustang if we have to." I laughed, but the weight didn't lift. That night, I lay awake, the numbers swirling in my head, each one a reminder of how quickly life could unravel. The surgery was delayed 4 days because of insurance delays and my futile attempts to secure funds. Each morning, I woke with the same dread. What if my heart gives out today? I'd sit by the hospital window, watching families in the parking lot, their laughter a stark contrast to the silence in my room. I called Emily daily, but our talks were strained. "I'm trying to get there, Mom," she said one evening, her voice frayed. "The kids have school, Mark's working overtime. It's a lot." "I know," I said, but the words felt hollow. I wanted to tell her I needed her, but guilt stopped me. She was right. I'd always hidden my struggles, thinking it made me strong. Now it just made me lonely. I tried Jack again. "Hey, Soph," he said, his voice upbeat. "Still in the hospital? You're tough. You'll be fine." "Jack," I said, my patience thin. "I'm not fine. I need you. Can you come up? Or at least help with the bill?" He hesitated. "I'm slammed with work, sis. But I'll send a check, okay? Hang in there." I hung up, tears streaming down my face. Jack's promises were as reliable as a summer breeze. I felt like I was shouting into a void, my voice swallowed by everyone else's lives. Linda brought Maggie to visit, and for a moment, stroking her soft fur, I felt grounded. "You're my best friend," I whispered, burying my face in her neck. But even Maggie couldn't fill the ache of feeling invisible. One night, I pulled out my photo album, flipping through faded pictures. Tom and me dancing at our wedding, Emily's gap-toothed grin on her 5th birthday, Jack and me building a snowman. I traced Tom's face, my chest tight, not from pain, but from longing. "I'm messing this up, Tom," I said. "I don't know how to fix things with Emily, or Jack, or myself." The loneliness wasn't just about being alone. It was the fear that my life hadn't mattered enough, that I'd leave nothing behind but regrets. On a rainy Thursday, my hospital phone rang. I expected Emily or the billing office, but a woman's voice, hesitant yet warm, said, "Is this Sophia Walker? My name's Clara. I think we're family." I froze. "Clara?" I said. "I don't know any Clara." "I know it's a shock," she said, her voice trembling. "I believe I'm your sister. I've been looking for you for years. I need to meet you. It's important." My mind reeled. A sister? I had Jack, but no sister. "Is this a mistake?" I asked, wary. "Or some kind of scam?" "I promise it's not," she said. "I have proof. A photo. Letters. Can we meet? I'm in town." Her sincerity disarmed me. "Okay," I said. "Daisy's Diner, near the hospital, tomorrow at noon." After we hung up, I sat in stunned silence. My parents had been the pillars of our small town, churchgoers, PTA members. A secret sister. It was unthinkable. Yet Clara's voice stirred something, a flicker of hope, or maybe curiosity. That night, I barely slept, my mind torn between doubt and the possibility of something real. Daisy's Diner was a cozy throwback with checkered floors and the smell of fresh coffee. I arrived early, my hands fidgeting with a napkin, when a woman in her late 50s walked in. She had my mother's hazel eyes and a nervous smile that mirrored my own. "Sophia?" she said. "Clara?" I replied, my heart pounding. We sat, and she pulled out a faded black and white photo. It showed me, barely 20, standing next to my mother, and a little girl, about 5, clinging to her hand. "That's me," Clara said, her voice breaking. "Your mother, our mother, gave me up for adoption in 1955, before she married your father." I stared at the photo, my world tilting. "No," I said, shaking my head. "Mom would have told me. She didn't keep secrets." Clara slid a letter across the table, written in my mother's unmistakable cursive. It was addressed to a social worker, explaining her decision to give up her daughter, born after a brief relationship with a man who left her. She was 19, alone, Clara said. She thought it was the best choice. She never told your father, or you, or Jack. I read the letter, my hands trembling. The words were my mother's, her elegant script, her careful phrasing. Why now? I asked, my voice hoarse. Clara's eyes filled with tears. I'm a widow, no kids. I found out about you 5 years ago after my adoptive parents died. I wanted family, Sophia. I wanted to know you. I looked at her, seeing my mother's eyes, my own stubborn jawline. Anger flared at my mother for her silence, at the years we'd lost, but it faded into grief. I wish I'd known you, I said, my voice breaking. Me too, she said, reaching for my hand. But we're here now. We talked for hours, the diner fading around us. Clara told me about her life, her nursing career, her love of jazz, her quiet evenings alone. I told her about Tom, Emily, Jack, and the hospital bill weighing me down. It felt like we'd known each other forever, yet we were strangers piecing together a shared past. As we sipped coffee, I mentioned my heart condition and the $18,000 bill. Clara's face lit up. Sophia, I'm a nurse practitioner at a hospital in Burlington. We have a foundation for patients like you. Let me help. I shook my head, embarrassed. Clara, we just met. I can't ask you to. You're not asking, she said, her voice firm. You're my sister. This is what family does. I wanted to argue, but her determination, my mother's determination, stopped me. Within 48 hours, Clara had connected me with a charitable foundation that covered my entire procedure. By Saturday, I was wheeled into surgery, my heart lighter than it had been in weeks. As the anesthesia took hold, I saw Clara's face, her hand squeezing mine. I'm right here, she'd said. She was there when I woke up, her smile the first thing I saw. The surgery was a success. The stent opened my artery, and the pain was gone. But Clara gave me more than a healthy heart. She gave me hope, connection, a reason to keep going. Emily arrived the next day, her face pale as she rushed to my bedside. Mom, she said, tears streaming down her face. I was so scared. I'm okay, honey, I said, reaching for her hand. She sat beside me, her voice trembling. I'm sorry I got mad. I need you, Mom. I can't lose you too. I pulled her close, my own tears falling. I'm sorry I pushed you away. I was scared too, but I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. We talked for hours, no walls between us. I told her about Clara, the sister I'd never known. You have an aunt, I said, laughing through tears. Can you believe it? Emily's eyes widened. That's incredible. I want to meet her. 2 months later, I was back in my garden. Maggie sprawled in the grass, the lavender blooming like a promise. My chest no longer ached and my soul felt full. Clara and I talk daily about our mother, our lives, the little things that make us laugh. We're planning a trip to Maine next spring to scatter Mom's ashes by the ocean, a goodbye we both need. Emily visits more now, sometimes with the kids, who call Clara Auntie C. Our talks are deeper, honest. I was so angry you didn't tell me, she admitted one day, sipping tea on my porch. But I get it now. You were trying to protect me. And I was wrong, I said. I need you, Em. Always will. Jack finally called, apologetic, but still distant. I'm sorry I wasn't there, Soph, he said. I'm not good with this stuff. I know, I said, softer now. But you're my brother. I'd like you to try. He promised to visit, and for the first time, I believe he might. Linda still brings her chicken soup, teasing me about my soap opera life. "A secret sister," she says, grinning. "You're a walking Hallmark movie." I laugh, but she's not wrong. That June afternoon, the pain that could have ended me was a wake-up call. It brought me Clara, mended things with Emily, and reminded me that life is a gift, not a guarantee. At 62, I thought my story was winding down, but it was just the beginning of a chapter I was meant to live, one filled with family, forgiveness, and a heart that beats stronger than ever. As I sit on my porch, Maggie snoring beside me, I sip my tea and smile. "We made it, girl," I say, and for the first time in years, I feel whole. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and please share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear what this means to you. Your voice matters, and I look forward to connecting with all of you.